My name is sethkbani, and today I'm going to show you how to design this. Alright guys, so let's go into Photoshop and then Ctrl N. Now in this particular tutorial, I'm going to show you one graphic design principle called contrast, and how to use this in almost all your designs. There are many ways you can achieve contrast, but then I'm going to show you one of the ways, and I'm going to space it between the videos or my tutorial so that you know firsthand how to use them. So every video that I'm going to do, I am going to show you how to use the contrast and which ways I use it. So this particular video, I'm going to show you how I use contrast two ways: contrast with size and contrast with color. Here is going to be 1500, and then here is going to be 72 pixels, and then here is going to, let's just call it something like night out flyer, and then let's click on create. Also make sure it's RGB 8-bit and pixels over here and pixels per inch. Click on create, and then if your rulers are not showing, just click on Ctrl R to pop up and then send them there. So please make sure you watch this video to the end, because there are many things I'll be talking about and I don't want you to miss any of them. Let's start with the lady. So let's bring the lady. We are starting with the background. You drop the lady there, and then let's just resize it like this. Let's see. So let's see, something like this is good. We also want her in the middle, so we'll see something like this is good. And then we'll go to vibrance. Normally when you're designing a nightclub flyer or an outing flyer, you want the sorry I don't know why I clicked that one. You want the saturation to be a little bit boosted and the contrast to come out a little bit. So I'm going to leave the vibrance like this, but I'm going to set the saturation to around 14% or plus 14. Then let's go back for levels, and this is to bring the contrast and the brightness. So let's set this particular one, let's drag it to get somewhere around 24. So you can see the colors are popping out, and that's what you want. That it's quite dark now. Let's see, you see, so it's quite dark now, you can't even see the background well. That's what we want to go for. And then let's drag this and also see 0.60 is good. I like this one. Let's also drag this one here a little bit, somewhere around here is good. So we are going to leave it like this, and then let's go for the second image. Let's go for this one. You're going to keep this one in the bottom, then drag it down. Let's give it a mask. Choose your brush, make sure it's soft brush. Also make sure the opacity is 100% and the flow is 100%. Set here to black, and then make sure your caps lock is off so that you can see the tip of your brush. Also increase the size a little bit, and then let's just delete it or clean it. So let's reduce the opacity a little bit, maybe to 50. It's too much. Alright, so this is good. And then the next thing we are going to do is give it a color fill. So solid color, let's leave it at black. Let's set the opacity to around 72. This is also good. And then click here with the same brush, just make sure you set the opacity to 100%. And then let's clean. We want the face to show, and then we are done with the background. So let's name it background. Alright, the next thing we are going to bring here is the theme, and so somewhere around here, let's pick the details, let's change the color to color white. Alright, also make sure this is off. Now let's set the font to Pristina. Guys, if you've been watching my video, you always know I leave it in the description for you. And so Pristina, let's set the font size to 212, and then let's set the tracking to 0. Alright, so now they are together, and this is how we want it to be. Let's center it, pull it here a little bit, then let's click beneath it. Let's pick your jersey and then paste it there, drag it in there. We don't want it to be Pristina. Let's use impact. Let's use impact. Also, let's make sure the font size is 178. It's also color white, and let's center it. Drag the rep on top of it. Let's drag it down. Let's see. Alright, we want the tip. Alright, so this is good. Now let's go double click it to get your layer style. Let's go to drop shadow, and there you want here to be multiply. Set it to black. Also set the angle to 90%, and then put in this value 7, 5, 10. You could leave use global light if you want to leave everything like this, then click on OK. Now you could see it has a little effect over here. That is what we want. Let's zoom out a little bit. Make sure the jersey is centered. Alright, so it is. Let's duplicate the jersey and set it down. And then let's pick night out. Now I may not know the exact definition for contrast, but in graphic design there's something called contrast, and what it means is that it has to do with something like the opposites attract. You know, it makes sense, right? Opposite attracts. And so if something is big and you make it small, so this one is big, right? You could make this one small, and that's contrast. If it's the same size, it's not contrast, and it doesn't look nice. So you see, this one is bigger, you could make this one smaller, or this one looks bolder, you could make this one lighter. Just this mindset alone makes your design work very, very beautiful. And so for this one, we are not going to use the same font, the night out. Let's use railway. And then let's set it to 142. So we reduce it a little bit. Let's also make it bolder, and then let's give it this particular color. Alright, so let's zoom in and let me explain it to you what I just did. Like I said, you look at a flyer and it stands out, but I don't know why it stands out. It's because of contrast. We play with two colors. We play with white, and then we play with a different color. It's contrast. We don't use the same color. Also remember, this is a bold text, and then to contrast it is make what a regular or a light text. So I bring this one down here to make it a light text. Also, so that's the first one you need to know. The second one you need to know is that this is white and then this is a different color. Also playing around the concept of contrast. Now I'm going to be using this throughout for you to understand how it really works. So let's pull it, drag it up a little bit, and then let's bring in some, perhaps let's bring in some bars. Oh, I don't know the exact name to give it. So I'll call it bars. Yeah, I'll call it bars, right? Makes sense to call it bars. But then we drag it this way. Also drag it this way. Center it. Alright, so the text is aligned. It's really aligned. We could also put it in a folder, and then we'll name it theme. But we are not yet done. Pick rep, duplicate it, and push it down. Right click here, or you could just right click on the FX and then go down and look for clear layer style. So that way you don't see the drop shadow working in there. Now let's go to our character. Let's set the font size to 42. Also set the tracking to 480 and leave it at white. But I want to change the text. Let's write 2021 and then let's center this, or let's make sure it is aligned. Awesome. Then we could duplicate one of these bars and then bring it down here, zoom in, drag it that way. Okay, you also want to make sure the length is the same. The length is the same. Alright, so the length is the same. The next thing also is to make sure the distance between here and here are the same. So you see this little distance here, make sure the distance between here and here are also the same, or they seem the same to the eyes. They seem the same to the eyes. So what we could do is that we could bring this one down a little bit, and then we could push this one up a little bit, and then the rep 2021 we could also put it here a little bit. Then we could pick this and then just now with this selected, just click on, where is it, click on, yeah, this bar, click on it. Once you click on it, click over here on the mask to mask it out. If you can't find your properties, go to Windows and go to properties, it will show, and then click on invert. So this is how it's going to look like, and this is what we are looking for. Okay, so now we are done with the theme. We want to also put in the date, so let's type here and then let's look for this and paste it there. But we are going to set the font to Franklin Gothic Demi. Franklin Gothic Demi. Also make sure the tracking is 0, and then let's set the font size to 53. So today I'm going to talk about fonts. Make sure your fonts are not all the same. Change the sizes of the fonts, and then as a graphic designer you should have about, let's set it to black, you should have about 5 to 10 different fonts that you use on any occasion. You should have 5 to 10 fonts that you use, 5 to 10 fonts that you could always count on. Should be your favorite font. Let's pick this yellow color. It should be your favorite font that you could always go back to. And so if you watch my videos, you realize that I have certain fonts that I use often. I'm trying to align our text. I have certain fonts that I use often, and that is the same thing that you're supposed to do. Let's put it in a folder or in a group, and let's call it date. And so experiment, find the fonts that you are comfortable with or that you think you use often, and trust me, it's going to save you. Now we are done with this. Let's also look for the venue. Let's pick this, paste it there, change the color to color white, So you see contrast is still playing a role here. I use a little bold here. I want to use a little light here as well. I don't want it to be too bold or too heavy, and so I'll probably look for something like railway. So you see railway has a lighter tone to it. It all communicates. So this is how you should be designing. This is how you should be using your text, and it speaks volume. Your work is going to improve just by doing this. Let's set it to 38, and then also make sure it is italics. Let's click here as well, set it to color white, and then let's center it. Now also for a rule, make sure the distance between here and here is the same distance between here and here, and so I would like to drag this one up a little bit, then I'll drag this one also up a little bit. Just eyeball it if it seems like that to the eye. So I think the distance are the same. Let's duplicate this and bring it down, and then let's pick this and paste it there. Would also like to align this as well. Now with this, I'm not going to leave too much space. I just want to leave a little space in there so that it looks like it's the same word that continues. But then I'm going to change the 9 to Arial. I don't like the way the 9 looks, so I'm going to change it to Arial here. Then I'm going to pick the rectangular tool and draw a very light text. Very light text. Also make sure it's color white, and then I'll center it. And I'll leave a little space here. Alright, so this is good. Then I'll click here and then pick music, copy. But before I even paste it, I'll click here, click over here, then paste it there, and then move it somewhere here. Now let's set it to railway, and let's set here to semi bold. Also let's set the font size to 28, and then let's make it bold here. Let's make it italics here. Also click on this to make it uppercase, and let's change the color to something like red. So FF0829, something like this. But then I want the distance between this, and then the distance between this and then this to be the same. So bring it somewhere here, and then pull this down. Let's see how much spacing we have. We don't have enough space, so let's set this one up, and then let's set the music up as well. So this is the spacing we are going to use. Then Ctrl J to duplicate the music and then set in here. Then we'll pick this entire detail, and then we'll paste it there. This. Alright, and then we are still using railway, but then we are going to change here from semi bold to regular, and then we are going to use 28 here exactly. But then you see how we are playing around it. We are using red here. We are going to use a different color here, contrast. We just don't make it the same, just make a different color. Just make it a different. You can make it white, you can make it yellow. Just flow, just make it a different color. Making it one color makes it monotonous. It doesn't look nice. So like this, I would say like this is good, but then I want to take the bold off because I added bold to the music. I don't want to add too much bold to the other ones as well. And so with this mindset, almost all your design works will look perfect and professional. Let's call this one music. Now let's duplicate this, and then open it, click here, hold control and click here, go to paragraph, and then click on this side. Alright, now close it and then drag it like this. Hold shift and then drag it like that. Alright, so like something like this is good. Let's name it DJ. Open it, and then with this music bar, let's type in DJ and then put this one here. Let's pick the rest of the details here as well, and then let's paste them here. Awesome. Now we are not done, we are almost done. Let's duplicate this and then drag it down. But like I said, you want to make sure the distance between this and this is the same distance between this and this. At least they should seem the same to the eye. The same spacing you should use over here. And so something like this is awesome. Oh, I'll bring it down a little bit. Okay. Then perhaps I'll duplicate the DJ something and then drag it up here. Close all of them. Put this is the venue and time. So let's type venue time. Okay. Let's put this all in a folder. Let's call it music DJ. We left something out. Alright, so with this, let's just pick the rest of the details. Let's pick this and then paste it there and then drag it here. Also want to center it, and then let's do something. Let's change this one to FF 0829. Alright, let's duplicate it. Control T to transform it, and then let's rotate counterclockwise. Send it somewhere here. We'll place it in the right place. Just pick your contact and paste it there. Now also I want us to use Arial for this. Arial works well. One thing I don't like about Railway is that the figures, it doesn't type the figures well for me the way I want it. So we use Arial here, and then let's set the font to 28. Also, let's make sure the tracking is 680. This is selected. This is also selected. And then let's make the rest yellow. From here going, let's make it yellow. So let's pick this yellow, and then the rest, let's make it color white. Now let's center it, or let's make sure it is aligned. Zoom in, see the details well. This looks good. This looks awesome. So this is how our flyer is going to look like. So guys, you see the principle I was using. Just change the font. One is bolder, one is heavier, one is quite lighter and then regular. And then you could also play with the colors. One is white, one is yellow. Once you master these type of contrast, your design work is going to improve really fast. Since we are done with everything, but we need to cross check to make sure everything is centered. Let's check our theme. So our theme is centered. Let's check our date. Our date is centered. Let's go check the venue. The venue is centered. Let's check the DJ stuff. Okay, now with the DJ stuff, you want it to be, you don't want to select all of them like that. You don't want to select everything and just say I'm centering it like that. No, what you want to do is to make sure that the hole in the middle aligns to the middle. Okay, so let's make sure the hole, the space in the middle falls within the middle. Also, I don't like the way Railway works with figures, so I'll use area for that particular figure and it to stand out. So this is it, guys. I love you all. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that already. Also hit the bell icon so that anytime I upload new videos you won't miss out on any of them. Also send your comments for me to review, and then like this video. I love you all. See you in the next tutorial. Peace out.